The topic of this panel discussion is effect of large language models and ChatGPT on teaching, assessment and research in education. I would like to call upon stage Dr. Munish Sabharwal. Sir, please come on stage. Executive Director and Professor, IILM University, Greater Noida. Can we all have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to request Ms. Seda to please come on stage. Founder, SEYEV. And Dr. Kakoli Sen, Professor and Dean, School of Business at Woxsen University, Hyderabad. Ma'am, please come on stage. Can we have a round of applause for all the three panelists present on stage for the next panel discussion, which is on effect of large language models and ChatGPT on teaching, assessment, and research in education.
Worse. Okay. Maybe without, I'm a teacher, without it I can stand and shout.
Good afternoon, everyone. Is it okay? Fine. So we have to keep it close.
Yeah. Keep it close. It's nice now. Okay, thank you very much. I'm coming from Turkey. I'm a linguist, and I'm coming just for this moderation with these valuable contributors. We have Dr. Munish Sabharwal now, the Executive Director, Professor at IILM University. He is also adjunct professor at the Faculty of Digital Technologies at Samarkand State University. And I really like his philosophy of teaching, because he says the goal of education should be to promote seeking answers, as it is in this way that we advance. So, as a professor at the Faculty of Digital Technologies, could you please share your experiences related to how artificial intelligence will help students to promote seeking these answers, and depending on your more than 80 research papers in the Web of Science, how do you consider artificial intelligence in the future of education, especially in academic world?
Good afternoon, everyone, and I thank Edtalk for inviting me amongst distinguished academicians. So the question that she has asked, I think I'll just take the liberty of taking a minute or so in narrating an incident, and that incident I'll lead up to the answer to the question. Some 35-40 years back, just across the road to my home, there was a bank called Bank of Maharashtra. And one day I asked, there were people sitting outside the bank and they were protesting. I asked my father why these people are not inside the bank and why they are not working. He said they are on strike. So I asked him, what is a strike? He said they are not working because they are protesting that computers are being introduced in banks and this will lead to loss of jobs. So that was the initial phase of computers introduction in banking in this country, and the banking unions, the banking professionals, the bankers were terrified by the idea of computers coming in banking. And then years progressed, internet became a reality, online banking came into the picture, and bankers themselves started telling every one of us, online banking shuru kijiye aap. Then mobile came in, mobile with internet came in, mobile with touch screens came in, mobile applications came in, and they said now you will get a movie ticket if you download the mobile app for banking. And then the Apple Watch came in, and now HDFC tells me if you download the HDFC app on your Apple Watch and do banking with this, we'll give you 500 points. So why I narrated this story, whether you like it or you don't like it, technology will come in, it will have an impact on your life, and you will have to embrace it. So if large language models have now come in, AI have now come in, I was listening to a panel discussion where people were saying we should prevent students and our kids from using it. I'm sorry, you will not be able to do it. Because the issue is more than 50-60% of us, or maybe 80% of us who are in this room at the moment, would hardly be watching satellite television now. We are watching smart TVs and exploring through online. Consumption is online. And that is what our kids are doing. So whether you like or you dislike, you hate it, technological influx is going to happen to your life. So what is the best idea? The best idea is what the bankers have done it. You start harnessing the power of technology to enhance. And that is why I am saying this whole model of education in brick and mortar campuses in a decade or so will become very non-fashion, obsolete. There will be digital campuses, there will be AI-enabled campuses. And lot of things will happen with AI. And you are talking about large language models. I must explain a little bit. When you ask that I want to go to Manali, to Google gives you an output in the form of lot of links to websites. That is a search engine. But when you ask the same to ChatGPT, how do I go to Manali? It would say, the ways to go to Manali are through train, through bus, routes. It will give you an elaborate answer. That is large language models. And I must tell you here, large action models are in work at the moment. What they will do, you ask them how book a ticket for me to Manali through an app of IRCTC and pay from my Paytm. And they'll do it and send that ticket on mail. That are called large action models. So evolution of technology is happening at a rapid pace. And what you are watching at the moment is a nascent stage of artificial intelligence. The real artificial intelligence you would see in a decade, because what we are at the moment, artificial intelligence we are watching, is actually lot of data processing at rapid speeds. And sharing of insights. That is what we are watching. 5 years, 7 years down the line, quantum computing will come in, and then this artificial intelligence would be 100 times what it is today. Now, I come back to the question that she asked, what you would do with AI? How students can learn with AI? Of course, they'll learn with AI. Brick and mortar campuses will not be a reality. What we used to do in Mahabharata times, people were, all the Pandavas, Kauravas were called, and they said, you do everything that is there. And the teacher used to watch them what they are doing. And after 2-3 years, he told Yudhishthir, you are good at political science, you study political science, but as a sport, you do javelin throw, bhala. He said, Arjun, you are good at, archery, you do archery. So that is how we have to transform. And what AI can do is, it can have a unified kind of a test. It can, judge a student's ability on which aspects he's good, which aspect, and maybe, advise him on what stream he should take, depending upon his interest, depending upon his expertise, depending upon the answer to the questions. Similarly, we have tuition teachers today, or tutors, so to say. In very near future, you will see digital tutors. There are tutors who are digitally teaching. And what these digital tutors would do, that they would randomly ask questions. Based upon the answers, they would change the content to be further taught to the student.
Okay, so can we say that this is a very, very trendy question these days? Will AI replace teachers in the future?
It will not. You know, that is, I'll come back to the starting of my talk. You know, has computers and technology replaced the bankers?
No, it has transformed.
Yes, it will transform the teacher will ultimately use AI to gain insights and advise the student, change his content. And you know, one more problem that we are facing at the moment, every educator is facing, that you give student an assignment and he'll come back in 20 minutes. I've done, uploaded.
Okay, but I want to ask the audience if there is anyone who says this, yes, AI will replace teachers. Is there anyone who says this? Will AI replace teachers? Okay, everybody agrees. Let's continue.
You know, with every technology that comes up in the world, every technology, what happens is there is a lot of fear that, you know, this technology may do some harm. It will, you know, take away my job. But actually what has happened is, what I have seen in the last 20, 30 years, I sleep, drink, eat technology almost, that technology has created more jobs. AI will take away some of the mundane jobs, day-to-day jobs. You know, if there's a machine who has to keep something from this place to this place, these kinds of jobs it will take away. But it will create some job roles which you and me don't know. If 10 years ago, I would have told somebody, I want to be an app developer. He said, what is an app? If 5 years ago, I would have told somebody, I want to be a data scientist in a company. What is a data scientist now? But this is a reality. 5 years from now, you will see job roles that you do not know. I also don't know what those job roles are. You will see AI specialists in companies. You will see AI specialist faculty, AI specialist teachers. And, you know, lot of content AI will generate for you in the form of, if some of you have seen the new Apple headset, you know, people will wear the headset and learn technology. This AI will aid the faculty to teach more effectively, rather than saying that it is going to replace the teacher, because the human aspect, I haven't seen a technology replacing. It can replace at the bottom pyramid, but, you know, human touch that education provides, I don't think there is a replacement for human. You have all the voice assistants in your home. You keep talking to Alexa whole day, but there is a time when you feel you want to talk to the real woman actually. You can't, I haven't seen anybody marrying a Alexa. So, no, she'd bore you more. Your wife will get tear down, she won't. So the influx of technology will actually aid education. And there is a startup in Bangalore. I forgot the name of the startup. What they are doing is, first they come to an engineering college. They ask a student, what do you want to become at the end of 4 years? Suppose a student says, I want to be a cloud computing developer. So then they say, you take our app and fill that I want to be a cloud computing developer. They will tell what is the learning path you got to follow. Once you start that learning path, if you are going on the right path, they will aid you in reaching, or if they are continuously assessing you every day, asking you questions, small random questions, one-word answers, with just choice-based answers, and then based on those assessments, they are telling you that, look, you cannot be a cloud developer. I think it would be better you can be a cloud analyst. You shift your goals and we'll shift the path for you. This kind of arrangement AI will do for you, rather than thinking that, you know, it's going to take away. It'll create more jobs. It'll create more jobs.
From the perspective of academic way, how as an advice, how people can use it effectively? This is the question.
I think you should. The biggest problem is we are asking our students to not use ChatGPT.
But we shouldn't,
But,
actually.
I give you an example. Last month, I gave an assignment to my students and I told them you have to solve it. They said we'll solve it in 10 minutes. I said you can use ChatGPT. That is the first formula of the assignment. So they were very happy because everybody can do that assignment in 2 minutes. But I said whatever output you bring to me, you have to come on the stage and justify your output with examples and practical applications. Now that becomes so what I'm trying to tell you is you have to find alternative ways to adapt to this technology. If you will keep saying we do not allow technology, till 2020 my wife was saying to my sons, don't use the phone. Don't use the phone. And come March she used to say use the phone. So there was so much confusion. So rather than, because even if you tell a student in modern day and age, and especially at the university level, you don't use ChatGPT, he'll go in the hostel, use it, how you will prevent? Very difficult. Even at the research level, it is becoming difficult to prevent. Rather than that, you tell the student you use it, but you devise newer methods to evaluate him. Find an alternative rather than, because when I started this session, I said, you like it or you hate it, you will not be able to stop the influx of technology. Rather, you harness the power of technology. Don't stop the influx, because I don't think we have the power to stop the influx of technology.
Yeah, adaptability is the key. Okay, we have a little bit talked about academic perspective for the students. Now I have Mrs. San, Ms. Dr. San with me. She is a PhD in management with 10 years experience in corporate and 17 years experience in academics. She has lots of studies that I can list until night, but one of the most important one is her latest book, Diversity, Inclusiveness in Startup Ecosystem. So I want to hear a bit in the perspective of corporate and this startup ecosystem, the use of artificial intelligence, and how can we integrate it in our lives, because you have years and years experience in corporate as well. We have listened in academic perspective, a little bit I want to listen about in the management systems, corporate world.
Thank you. So, somebody very famously said that if you are not on the table, then you are in the plate. So, if you're not, and the same goes for technology, for artificial intelligence. If you shun the artificial intelligence, if you keep on shunning the technology, thinking that by doing so your job will be safe, your job will be the first one at stake. So technology is there all across, and the time has gone to say that we should not use it, this will do that and this will do that. It is time to find out how much more and in which ways can it be made more efficient. Technology is a great enabler. It's a great leveler. The information that you have today is the same or more information that your students, your kids, anybody sitting anywhere, internet has made that possible. So by saying that we should not use ChatGPT or we should not use artificial intelligence, we could be living, under the stone maybe. So that's not happening at all. The question here is, when I think Mr. Munish also talked about that when I gave students an assignment, and this is how he assessed it, giving the assignment and getting something out of them is the output. They will do it. They will use some medium, they will use some method, and they will give you the output. If as teachers, we can decide what is the outcome that we are looking at from this assignment, that is our job. Information, earlier our teachers used to have all the information and we would use the jug and the mug method. They would be, kind of on the stage, they would be sitting there or standing there and giving us the information. We took the information. Now there was an information age which came into between and went. So information is all around us. Nobody needs the information that you can take out from internet, which everybody can access from. What we can add value to it is through our own wisdom. There's a difference between information and wisdom. So we need to add that wisdom to it. So when we say, in your age I was doing this, and in your age you are doing this, the gap there is not just is of the years, it is of the wisdom as well.
Yeah, it doesn't work, you know. I have my son with me. He's 17 years old, and if I begin the sentence by saying, "When I was at your age, I was doing blah blah," it's
Who cares?
nonsense.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares? You had your experience. By the way, I must tell you, at a 17-year-old son having attended this conference and listening to it, that itself is a great achievement, by the way. So
Thank
we
you
have
very
the
much.
young people also.
Since he's
Yeah, no way. They are not to be seen with us anywhere, or these kind of things. Any marriage, any social thing, anything. You go your way, I go my way. That's how it is. So it's commendable that he's not only here, he's also assisting you. So
Thank
that's
you.
a great achievement.
Since he was 5, he's assisting me. And as you say, not only information, but the wisdom he has got through this kind of worldwide travels,
Yeah.
the
So that
projects that he
helps.
attends. Yes.
That greatly helps that he's been here. So coming back to the startup that you talked about, artificial intelligence, there's no two ways. Let's not even discuss what all it can do. It will keep on doing, and it will add much more value to it. In some of our panels, we've been discussing that, the students don't have the right values. The society is not, looked at in a holistic manner. Why can't we use artificial intelligence to bring back or bring in those things which we value? Assignments will get done faster, quicker, more efficient, more efficient. But are they more effective? Are they learning what we are expecting
Without
them to learn?
plagiarism, right?
It is all plagiarism. So plagiarism will always happen. So I think in one of our panels somebody said 95% to 0%. How did that happen overnight? That means they were able to hack something into it and they were able to do it. The point is not how were they able to do it. The point is why did they do it? Are we able to teach them that? Can we use artificial intelligence to bring in those kind of experiences so that students feel that I should not use artificial intelligence in a limited way by just copying the answer that it is giving? How can I challenge it? How can I become a better self of myself? Like what Dr. Munish also said, that I asked them to come and explain. That's a great skill. If you look at the World Economic Forum skills, they say technology adoption is one of the key skills. But they also say critical thinking, analytical thinking, being able to present, being able to convince people, change, adoption of change, mobility, agility, all of these are important skills. Are they new? They've been there for the last 100 years probably. So they're not really new, but what they are saying is the context is changing. And if we don't keep up with that, it will change us. It will change the jobs. If we keep on, nobody knows how the job market will evolve in the next 5 years, what jobs will become important and what jobs will come up, what jobs will go, we don't know. So currently, the key is to be open to technology because it is evolving at its own pace and a very fast pace. So if we turn a blind eye to it, we are only fooling ourselves. So in terms of the same goes for startups, when you said that, what can startups do? Technology adoption is key. They have to see what are they wanting to do through their startups. Are they increasing their outreach? Are they increasing their impact? What is it that they want to do? Small little things like, marketing or, getting your customers, these are like so easy these days. Everybody is doing it all the time.
Yeah, but human touch and human interaction is also the key. So are they able to integrate all those together? This
So
is the
human
problem, I
touch
think.
and human touch is definitely important after a certain stage. Like as I said, information, the students will get all the information from everywhere, just like anybody else. But what do we do with that information? How do I make sure that what is my outcome? If we do not start with the outcome in mind, we can get easily waylaid. We could be doing things, we could become happy with what we are doing, but the outcome, there is no outcome. So even when we are discussing this kind of a panel, if we are clear about that, what is the outcome out of these kind of panel discussions, what we are going to come out with that, okay, is there an AI policy that we are talking about? Are we talking about how AI is bringing in sustainability, how AI is encouraging diversity, equity, inclusion? What is the outcome that we are doing it? If we are only objective driven, then we will have some kind of panel discussion, a lot of questions will come up, but it will stop at that. So unless, same goes for our education, same goes for our business, same goes for any activity or exercise that we take up, we need to start with the outcome in mind.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have some statistics. I really want to continue with this statistics, and I have another question, both of you actually. Mr. Sabharwal, in almost 20 years, according to statistics of UNESCO, the world will need 69 million teachers. This is very, for me, it's very pessimistic statistics. So, UNESCO Institute for Statistics has released the first ever estimates of how many teachers are needed to achieve for the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 4, which aims to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities. So in the next 20 years, it will be almost, I think, more than 69 million teachers to provide every child with primary and secondary education, actually. What is your opinion about this statistics? So can AI really help to reduce these numbers, or will it continue to remain the same number?
I think I have a little bit divergent views on this also, that I always take the UNESCO and World Bank, numbers with a pinch of salt, because they haven't proven to be true. Because they commented that 80% of Asia will suffer from AIDS long back.
Yeah.
Nothing has happened. They commented that most of the deaths will happen in Asia in COVID. It happened the reverse.
Have you heard what Bill Gates said yesterday? He apologized for exaggerating COVID. He said that it wasn't exaggerated.
No, most of the deaths have, they said our medical system, our vaccination system could not support our population. We did it, they couldn't. So let these numbers be the numbers that they want to quote. Let them. I don't believe in their numbers. That's a personal opinion. And now, what AI will do, I told you, lot of virtual tutors will happen. Personalized AI assistants will teach you topics. And they will teach you, for a physical person, for a human being to teach somebody a topic, the person has to come, or he has to use Zoom call or something, and it has to be done using the office hours or school hours or university hours, whatever you say. But for a virtual assistant, you could, invoke that assistant 3 o'clock at night, learn that topic. So this much faculty may not be required, but whatever faculty is there today and will be required needs to be, modeled around this AI skills. They need to, they need to have the knowledge of AI, and they should have the ability to harness this potential to, further, as she said, increase the outcomes. It is not, there will be no dearth of numbers. But what is the problem is that people need to upgrade their skills with the upgrade in technology. And I believe at the moment that is not happening. Incidentally, at 11 o'clock today, I was with Microsoft at the Microsoft Gurgaon office, and they said that we are starting a new policy. They'll be announcing in 4-5 days that, AI beyond boundaries. And the policy is anybody and everybody, even women at households, can do that Microsoft certification to learn AI. And if they understand, they can go for level 1, 2, 3 and so on. But at least basic knowledge of AI, because what will happen is slowly some of the tasks that you do on day-to-day basis that at the moment are being done by humans will be done by artificial intelligence. So you must have that basic core ability to interact with the machine and the AI framework, so to say.
Okay, thank you very much. A top futurist predicts the largest internet company of 2000.
Just to
Yeah.
add to this, somehow with your numbers that you're saying, somewhere there is an assumption that the role of teachers will remain same in the next few years, which is basically what we need to address very strongly. The role of the teachers is not going to be the same. We need to evolve
And
whatever we are and adapt. Unless we change that mold that we are saying, okay, the teacher is supposed to be this, and whether we have the skills, whether we have the numbers, etc. So again, if we keep at that, these data will have something to say, then some people will oppose, some people will agree, whatever.
Actually, we should change the way that's how we educate our teachers, because one of top futurists predicts that the largest internet company of 2030 will be an online school.
Yeah.
So this is not just an artificial intelligence. We should know how to teach our teachers depending
So
on
I
this.
think the training of the training of the faculty was spoken about in the previous panel discussion. That again, very, very important point. We are not training our faculty members enough. Definitely faculty members are difficult to train, but at the same time we have to keep that in mind, that if we are to continue in that model where faculty members are important stakeholders, there needs to be a lot of investment in them. Of course, there will be some self-motivated faculty, but in terms of the system, in terms of the process, there needs to be more faculty training, more adaptability towards technology.
What about reducing the number of schools and making them more and more online? Physical schools, I mean.
Okay, so there is definitely a lot of merit in physical school, because online you can learn, as we talked about, you can definitely learn information. So as long as you are learning information, that's fine. You can pick up whatever information at whatever level and stage. But the moment you talk about different other skills, outcome is again that I'm talking about, it's not just information. It's about how do you apply that information? How do you get along with people? How do you manage teams? How do you encourage critical thinking, analytical thinking, problem solving, identifying a problem? Those things, if you're learning in isolation on your own, they may have limited effectiveness. So definitely this learning with people together has its own usefulness. Like for example, we are physically sitting here. AI can make our avatar sit here and interact with people. Will that be enough? Maybe no. So we always
This is
look
controversial.
for people.
Let's ask, will that be enough
Yeah,
to the
sure.
audience?
Yes.
Yeah. Which one would you prefer, for example, our avatars or physically here?
There we go.
Because we are very beautiful human.
Yeah, she said it. I didn't.
Okay. Actually, you're right. As a linguist, I have a personal question, both of you. Have you ever tried to learn a foreign language through artificial intelligence chatbots recently?
Okay, but I'll just answer that. I
Okay.
have learned part of it. I have learned languages. I like language. I like to learn languages, and I've learned. But I've always learned it from people, and never from artificial intelligence.
You,
yeah.
you prefer still language
I
teachers?
still prefer language
okay.
teachers.
But why? Tell me.
I'll tell you why. Because there is always a context. When you are asking somebody that, okay, what are you doing, or how do you do this, or how do you say this? You're also interacting with a person, and you are getting to know that person, and that's important. The more we talk, engage with people, that's need of the hour.
And for the cultural issues
For
as
the
well.
cultural issues, you get to know more about it. For the pronunciation,
Yeah.
you may know, and that will help you remember. Again, I come back to that. Keep the outcome in mind. You need to learn it. You need to remember it. You need to apply it rightly. And with the maybe language, with the artificial intelligence, you may learn it for sure, but you may not be able to get the context correct.
Yeah, this is the key. I agree with you, but I'm sure that he will disagree.
You know, there are devices available. You speak in your own language, they'll speak in the language that you want. There are devices available. Whatever experiences people are sharing or whatever thoughts they are saying, they would not like an avatar, but they would like a physical person sitting. Just because it is out of our previous experience till date, not what is going to happen in the future. And what is going to happen in the future, there is a small gadget available. You plug that gadget in your iPhone and you keep speaking. And I have used that personally in Japan. I kept speaking in my own language. It kept translating in real time.
But it works one-to-one.
Yes,
What
it
about
works.
among this crowd? There are millions of noises. You have conversation.
It works
with them.
one-to-one very beautifully.
Right.
And more such applications will come. That is what I am trying to tell you. That I don't know what job roles will come or what human roles will come, but they will come and they will be, we don't know what the roles are, but new kind of things will come. And the question that you just asked, that about what will change in education, I think brick and mortar schools will start to reduce. Why? Because in a decade or so, we will move away from the era of earning a degree. That is what actually, sometimes I feel we are not providing education, we are providing a degree. He comes in, we tell him, you appear, learn this, we will test you, we will give you marks, and ultimately we give him a degree. That is what we do whole 3 years, 4 years, we give him a degree. The era that we are going into, degrees will not be important. What will be important is skill. In our country, there were people who make jewelry. We call them sunars. Their sons and daughters, they learn the art of making jewelry just from their parents only. So what is that? That is transfer of skill. And actually that is teaching. There are people who make pottery. The potters, we call them kumhars. They learn the art of making pottery from childhood just because that's a skill that is there in the family, gets passed on. Even, as basic as a pickle, the ladies would correlate to that. In the last decade or so, that skill of making a pickle has gone out of fashion because the ladies have started picking it up from the family. But if you start picking it up, and all these skills translate into jobs, entrepreneurship. Sadly in our country, in the last 20, 25, 30, 40 years, we have been hooked on to a colonial British system of education. They gave it to us 16 years of education, and pretty much same is in Turkey, I believe. So that system is faulty actually. But because everybody wants to go with that, everybody is doing that. And at the end of those 12 years, I learned cos theta plus cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. What the hell is cos square theta, sin square theta, I don't know. But learn, वो सीखा है, वो बस cos 2 theta क्या होता है वो सीख लिया. वो why I have to apply, where I have to apply, that skill nobody has given me. I don't know that skill. But सीखा है. And we have just learned that skill. We have learned those formulas, and by the way, those trigonometry formula is like a book. You keep learning 2 years, but what to do with them, where it will be useful, how I can make an earning out of them, nobody knows. And same is our JEEE exams. I think half of the world, if you call the kids from 200 countries in the world and give them that exam, I don't think they will be able to understand what the question is. Forget about the answer. But that is the way we are doing. So the future will be about skills. And if you have a particular skill, you will beat AI. AI cannot beat you.
Yeah, you're right. I want to hear her opinion as well about skills.
Sure. So, we cannot ignore the role of economy here and the role of culture also. When we are saying that our kids are going to college because that's the practice, that's the norm, it has been there for a long time. Everybody goes to school, everybody goes to college, gets a degree and gets if required goes to university, and so on, and then only it gets a job. So it is a cycle that they have to follow. If they do not go to school, if they do not go get a degree, do they really have a future? So called, as we understand, to get money, to buy, to to have a business, or to kind of be successful in life, there are certain norms, societal norms and processes which have got established. We can definitely question them, but they are there. So that is why people are following it. If you go to different countries where there are, in Canada, there are skill colleges, skills, which give you diploma. They are more popular than the universities. People go there. There is a skills inventory which is made according to the need of the country, and then accordingly those skills students go and pick up, and they get jobs much more easily there. They may not even study a full-time degree, may not have a degree, but fairly successful. How are they defining success? They're defining success by getting a job, be able to do what they want to do, have a family, live a life, etc., which they are able to. Can a 17, 18, 20-year-old in our country do that unless they have a family business to go to? No. Can he raise money? No. Women have stopped making pickles, not because they don't want to, but because A, there are easier options available. There are bottled pickles at whatever quantity available, so they are doing it. Second is, they have found that their degrees or their skills or qualifications, they have picked up certain things and they are doing of their own interest. You go to a lot of, tier 2, tier 3 cities, lot of women who haven't got this education or other skills, in their free time, they are still making papads and theplas and, this and that. I have a serious problem with that. That why should women only lead at or be at those achar and papad making businesses? Why can't they look at bigger businesses? Why do these businesses also have to be genderized? That achar papad boutique and parlors have to be women, and all the bigger businesses which make more money have to be men. I have a major problem with that. I am a DEI advocate, so I always talk about that. But anyway, we'll not digress. The idea here that we are trying to say is that education has its own importance. If we are looking, there's no point saying that you should not go for degrees, because at the end of the day, in India, culturally and normatively, degrees are what organizations look at for giving you jobs. If you don't have a degree from a specific college in a specific area, you cannot even sit for those placements. So it is, if we are looking, and I'm again coming back to this, that outcome. If we are looking at that, we need to bring in the corporates. We need to let them understand that, what their requirement, again, they are also driven by the economy. What makes them run is the money that they have started this for. So it's all together. We cannot discuss in isolation and hope that some things will change. A lot of things won't change for a long time. Technology, of course, is going to be there. It's going to be making a lot more effectiveness, and many things will change. But the basic structure, if we are questioning that, then a lot of things need to change.
Yeah,
Thank
all
you.
over the world. Thank you. Thank you for your listening. Any questions? Okay, please.
Okay. Hi. Thank you for the wonderful discussion today. So I have been hearing I talked to Ms. Seda earlier that I've been hearing a lot of discussions on AI and metaverses and AR and VR in education, educational context. What I do agree, there's a lot of benefits out there. You're not going to be able to stop it. But what I would like to know, what I am missing is the critical perspective. You should always have a critical perspective to any technology. I'm a professor in AR and VR in Germany, but this is a question that I ask every day in my research as well. So what I would like to know, perhaps from Dr. Sabharwal as well, that what should academics be wary of when using AI, or what could be a harm? Could there be a harm when using AI or AR, VR, and metaverses?
Actually, as AI is in its nascent stage, you would see in years to come, like we have rules and policies, like very recently we have the IT policy now here. Very soon you will have the responsible AI network, framework, and ethical AI. Because as is with every technology, you rightly said, there are positives and negatives. Electricity is lighting up this room, but if I go and put my finger in the socket, obviously it's going to give me a shock. So we have to have a two-dimensional kind of a thing. I've written a research paper on this as well. Responsible AI, framework, and ethical AI. Because Elon Musk once said that, there are two kinds of AI, you would know better, that weak AI and strong AI. So if strong AI comes into the picture, something you have watched in movies like Terminator, it is going to be devastating for mankind. But that's very far off. We are in weak AI phase at the moment. But we have to use AI responsibly. For example, these models, large language models that we are talking about, when these large language models give answers to your questions, sometimes you ask them a question, their answers could be racial in nature. You ask them on the Gaza conflict, they will give you very conflicting answers. Because actually they are building their answers based upon what data is present on the websites. From there they are building that answer. And because the data that we have built as a society is like that, and the tweets that the people are doing, they will take that data and build an output for you. So slowly frameworks would come in that, if somebody finds an answer racial, he would tag it, and that answer would not come in the next question that is asked. Similarly, like you use YouTube, if you are offended by a video, you report abuse for that video. If you are offended by a Facebook post, you do it the same way. So those kinds of frameworks will come in, because actually it is taking time for the AI usage to be a mass usage kind of thing. And once it becomes a mass usage kind of a thing, you would see, because these frameworks are under development stage, especially you said you work in Germany. So a lot of it is happening in Germany, because by the way, Germany was the country which came out with the regulations, IT regulations. It was the first. And then European Union adopted those regulations, and then same kind of regulations came in India in the IT policy. So same kind of regulations will come in. But that is with every technology. I said, if you put your finger in the electricity box, it's going to give you a shock.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a very nice topic, but we are running out of time. Thank you for your attendance, valuable
Thank you.
contribution.